The Black Souls, Night 1. I am recording the next 7 days of my life in this journal. A friend of mine who loves to dabble in the occult and darker aspects of the world decided to give me knowledge of a cursed legend. I'm not a believer of such silly fancies such as the darker aspects of human knowledge, but I thought it interesting for this one reason. It will supposedly happen. No tricks, no rumours, no superstitions. Everything that will be performed will guarantee the ritual to summon them. The ritual itself is actually rather simple. I'll explain here, but only once. Get 7 candles, 6 black, 1 white. Number 2. Place a large mirror over a window in a room. The room must only have 1 window and no light fixtures. The room must be completely cleared out. Number 3. After blocking the window with the mirror, place the 7 candles in front of the mirror on the ground. Place the white candle in the center of the row so that there will be 3 candles on both sides of the white candle. Number 4. Light all 7 of the candles. Number 5. Lock the door to the room. No one, including you, must enter the room until nightfall of each night. Number 6. For the next 6 nights, at midnight, you must enter the room quietly as possible, and you must whisper this chant before extinguishing 1 black candle. After doing so, after you complete the chant, you must scream as loud as you can and then run out of the room. The chant is as follows: Hear me, children of blackness, of the eternal night of blight. I give you my light for this night. In your name I pray, in your pain I scream. Number 7. On the last night, when the white candle remains, they will come. Night 1 is done. No change in feelings yet. Still just eager to see what happens. Night 2. The day seemed usual for me. Seemed is the key word here. Woke up, showered, got dressed and ate breakfast as usual. Lily, my girlfriend, came by for a visit. We spent some time together, eventually falling asleep on the couch after watching a movie. I set an alarm on my watch to warn me when midnight comes rolling by. I gently moved Lily's head to the side of the couch and walked into the room to perform the chant. I recited the chant and screamed at the top of my lungs, blew out 1 of the black candles and left the room, locking it behind me. Lily was awake by the time I got back. She smiled at me. Sorry about the screaming, I chuckled to myself. Screaming? What screaming? She asked. You're kidding me. You couldn't hear that? I asked her, surprised. She turned her head to the side and back at me. No, I didn't hear anything. Who was screaming? I stood looking at her, completely puzzled. I guess the walls were thicker than I thought. I was just doing this little thing that a friend of mine told me about. And I thought you couldn't get any stranger. She grins at me while I embrace her on the couch. Night 3. Today felt different. Not so much bad or odd, just different. My bedroom is directly down the hall from the room I'm performing the ritual in. I proceeded normally with my day, but I couldn't shake a feeling that something had changed. Maybe it was just my head and my mind was using the ritual as an excuse to pull some tricks on itself. How terrible must it be to be a brain? Having to always keep people in check and sane, yet it pulls shit like this, giving you an uneasy feeling when you know you have nothing to fear. In fact, all day, that's all I thought about. Fear. Fear. What does it mean? What is fear, essentially? Simple. Unknowing. You're not afraid to visit your mother's home because you know her. You're not afraid to go to sleep with your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend because you know them. You know a small house spider won't harm you unless provoked. But yet, why are you still afraid? Now that's an even better question. Even after we knowing about something and comprehending it, we still fear it. That's when something no longer becomes a fear, but a state of mind itself. A state of mindful fear that the brain has no hope in ever decoding or defeating. Sure, courage may exist in this world, but even those with it still have fear. You see, it's not the darkness you should be afraid of. It's what was born in it, shaped by it, killed by it, driven in it, that you should be afraid of. My voice is a little hoarse now from the screaming, but I'm fine with that. Note to self, pick up some milk at the store. Night 4. I'm learning things at a much faster rate right now. I was able to read 5 books today in 2 hours without stopping once. Complicated calculus problems become elementary basics in my mind as it works thousands of times faster and faster than it ever did before. I feel a jolt of something and I can't contain it to just myself. I invite Lily over. Lily and I have sex for hours on end, never once stopping to catch our breaths. It's amazing. We keep going and going and going and going and going. I start scratching her and biting gently. She wants more and wants it even harder. I scratch and bite her harder. We continue for about 10 minutes until I see the lamp by the bed. I reach over and turn off the lamp. Now, we're in complete darkness and the excitement rises more and more. My watch goes off, alarming me to perform the ritual again. I get off Lily and tell her I'll be right back. I leave my bedroom and walked into the locked room. Almost in a trance-like state, I enter the room quietly and perform the chant once more. screaming as hard as my hoarse voice can. It strains me, but I continue. I head back to my bedroom to hear Lily still moaning inside. I open the door slowly, having to feel around the dark room just to find her. "I'm back," I whisper to her as I kiss her body. "Hey, when did you leave?" she asks me. Night 5. I woke up next to Lily the next morning, covered in scratches and bite marks, with some traces of my blood on my sheets. Lily is still asleep. When I go into my bathroom to brush my teeth, I enter the room to see my mirror cracked, but not shattered. I thought to myself, how to explain this? It could have been due to the pressure and temperature in the room. The temp and pressure. It was a cold night and the bathroom had a window. The air must have been really cold because I left the window open. Stupid me. I shook my head and went over to the window. It was sealed shut. I put my hand over the edges of it to see if any air could have gotten in. Nothing. Well, it's all fine and good. Maybe it was just the age of the mirror itself, right? I brush my teeth and make Lily and I a nice hot breakfast. Lily tells me that was the best night of sex she's ever had. I agree. My friend who introduced me to the ritual eventually stopped by for some coffee. We both sat in the living room, chatting up and laughing. "So, how's it been here for you?" he asks me. Pretty quiet now that you ask." I sip my coffee with a smile. "Did you ever try that thing I told you about?" he asked me in a curious tone. I put my cup down. In the process of it right now. I point to the hallway leading to the room. "Did everything just as you described?" His face went a little white. "Oh, you know, I was just joking with you about all that, right?" I began to grow a little annoyed. "Joking? You think all of this is a joke?" "Well, I only heard about what happens when you try to summon the..." I picked up and threw my cup of coffee at the wall. "You think fear is a fucking joke? You think they are a fucking joke? Do you know what I call fear that consumes a mind?" My friend was now standing up slowly with both his arms out in front of himself. No. "I'll tell you what I call that. I call that an achievement, a true staple of a nightmare doing its job. Do you know what you all are? You're all ignorant and fools to them. They mock you in the shadows, laugh at your torment, moan at your joy and scream at your dreams. Your reflection is allowed to escape, but yet they cannot follow. You may not have introduced them, but you invited them. You may not want them, but you need them. You may not want to pray to them, but you will scream for them. You will all scream for them." My friend is frozen in fear. He turns his head towards the hallway and his eyes widen in horror. I don't turn to see what he's staring at. I already know that they were looking at him. Night 6. I stay shut in for the day and for the night. I wrote notes to myself to manifest the dark thoughts in my mind. So many of them, and yet my hand can only write so much. My mind opens up to new ways of thinking, to many diverse things. Love. Love is just another way of self-torture. Love is an infection of the chest and the death of the mind. It taints a man's heart and poisons a woman's womb. Love deserves to die with Juliet and Romeo. Courage. There is no such thing as courage. Courage is a word created to make people try to conquer fear they know will not be gone. So they create courage to try to fight it, but they will lose. Courage is a lie, a pitiful lie, for an even more pitiful race of pathetic beings. Humanity. Oh, humanity is such a lovely topic to discuss. What makes men good and what makes them evil? Humanity is a non-existent term to try to glorify mankind's own accomplishments, but when he expresses his true nature, their true nature, he is weak. He is not human. He is not he anymore. He is them. They are him. I invite Lily over for another night of sex in complete darkness. I enjoy satisfying my animal urges. My alarm goes off again, but this time I tell them to proceed with her. I go to the locked room and blow out the last black candle. I perform their chant and scream louder than ever. I walk back to my bedroom and put my ear to the door. Instead of hearing Lily's moans, I hear her bloody screams. My breathing picks up in pace. I begin to feel myself getting an erection. I slowly began to stroke myself. Minutes later I stop, but the sensation of masturbating continues. I know that it's them doing this to me. The screams grow louder as they tear her apart, finger by finger, eye by eye, and toe by toe. I can feel myself making love to them. They embrace me. They know how to please a man. Wait, no, not a man. They know how to please a black soul. Night 7. This will be my last entry. Tonight is the night I will join them. The white candle is all that remains. I can hear their whispers. They explain to me everything. They reveal to me the truth and purpose behind everything. The white candle represents the final offering, the soul. The essence of a man is not his mind nor his heart, but a mere flame on a candle. This is the soul of a man. They have been around since the beginning. When the first light was blown out, they were born. When the first men died, they invited them, and now they want me to join them. Night falls and midnight comes with it. I slowly walk to the locked room. My entire home is now in complete darkness, but they guide me through it. I am no longer afraid. I enter the room and recite the chant one last time, but I cannot scream. I have no voice anymore. I look down at the white candle. It begins to turn black as my mouth gets closer to the flame. I blow out the flame and set the candle down. I stand up and look in the mirror. In the darkness, their hands reach out for me. They begin to pull me apart, finger by finger, toe by toe, and eye by eye. I can feel the pain, but I revel in it. The feeling of dread overtakes me, and I smile. Looks like now you'll have to light another black candle, for I am now they. We are the black souls. You're all just puppets. Puppets on the strings of sanity. And there are no strings on me. And that's it for tonight, my little hellhounds. Thanks for listening. If you have any scary stories, then submit them to Reddit r/homeofscares and follow me on Twitter at homeofscares. Don't forget to subscribe and click the like button and click the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload. Now, good night, my little hellhounds.